It's extra good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Georgia, who are you in 3 words?
Who am I in 3 words? Today,
Today.
today I am creator, learner, and pot plant mother.
Yay.
More than 3 words.
Three
Three things.
hyphenated words. We love the
Yeah.
hyphens. We've so many hyphens.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about why and when and where you started AT, because I met you like in the middle of my journey, but I actually don't really know much about the beginning of yours.
Yeah. Mine was in Brisbane. So Greg Holdaway, who's our teacher, came up to Brisbane for a weekend workshop. And I was in first year uni studying cello, and I was practicing more than I ever had in my life. And I was getting real pain in my left hand. And yeah, I went along. My cello teacher recommended that, there's this workshop coming up. Why don't you go along to it? So I went along, and when it was my turn to work on it, we just did some simple body mapping to change the relationship of my understanding of what actually is happening. And the pain went away and has never ever come back, because it was a very simple body mapping thing, but just so profound. But also it wasn't just that, it was this feeling in that workshop of like, oh, thank you for opening up this whole world that I've always wanted to be in, and I've always known somehow was possible. Like just this new sense of like everything is a learning discovery, everything's new and exciting again. So yeah, it really opened up my world, and from there I was hooked, and I just listened to all these podcasts and read all these books, and like travel down to Sydney every 6 months to do like a week intensive with Greg at the school, and would unpack that over 6 months, like in my practice and in my life. And yeah, then eventually I went to study, like to train at the Melbourne school, and then came to Tassie, and I've been doing it online with the Sydney school since then. So yeah, it's been about 10 years of weaving it into my life. Exactly.
Yeah, what we're talking about here. Like, do you have a moment of discovery which you could share along your journey?
Oh, so many moments.
Particularly with cello, I'm going to ask.
Cello, okay. Because the first things that came to my mind were vocal things.
Oh, yes, let's go there.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I used to have an absolute fear of singing in public. Since primary school, I loved singing, and then had, as most people have, like a young experience of in front of people. So I just sung in choirs or just by myself. But I remember this one time with Kathy, because I love singing and I really wanted to sing. And Kathy Madden from Seattle was visiting Sydney, and it was working on singing in front of quite a big group. And I remember it just being like, I was coming up against this terrifying cliff that I just couldn't cross. I didn't want to step beyond, but she helped guide me so beautifully. Like she gave me wings to fly off that cliff instead of falling off the cliff. That's what it felt like. And it was about really allowing it to sound bad. That was the thing. I couldn't let myself have it sound bad, which means I can't, if I'm not willing to have a bad sound come out, I can't actually shape the sound at all. So she got everyone in the crowd to make really terrible sounds with me, and made me realize, that's fine. We all make these sounds, and it just it was, maybe it was one of those had to be there in the moment things, but I just suddenly found myself singing. And then yeah, that was one. And there was way more, like so many moments along that journey of singing. But now I'm singing in a band, and I sing in front of people, and I do solo singing, and all the singing at the moment. And um, yeah, I think a big part of it was that realization that it's not me on a spotlight. I'm actually working with the audience, and I can invite them to be with me as I find this note. And that
Mm,
it's a shared experience, and the more that I can step towards that, the newness, like this new experience that I don't know yet, the more the audience will be able to have a new experience as well. So it just, yeah, it helped get me off this feeling of being in the spotlight and it's all about me, to just being a human in a room full of humans.
that's so powerful.
Yeah, I can tell you a cello one if you like as well.
I'm just remembering lots of times. I mean, I think I might have been in the room for a couple of those moments with
Mm,
Kathy, and just to put more words to that, you had to be there.
yeah,
Um, it was so, from a teaching perspective, like just watching that and how she turned that, I guess, a no plan, like what you were not able to do, but kind of made it a yes. So it was so safe for you to
yes,
try that.
exactly.
And whenever you like watch someone doing that, um, you experience it as well. So I think, yeah, I definitely remember really appreciating that moment in group class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there was another time, like later on, that I was doing singing in front of a group again, and she invited me to, because I felt like I was a child. I was having this sensation of being a child again, and she invited me to sing as a child, like, actually, let's hear that child voice. And I remember not so much what it sounded like, but the response of the audience, like everyone's reaction. They were just like it was, yeah, they were gifted with this innocent voice that I hadn't let through before. And yeah, that was powerful.
Mm, yeah, it's so skilled and like interesting, like, when I'm hearing these stories again, and I remember being there again. So for me, it's like, I guess beyond, you already know yourself very well, you were asking to coordinate, but she's literally giving you the space to like pull out, what are you telling yourself, and what part of that is unconstructive, and how can we bring a
Mm,
yes to that. And
exactly.
uh
The
yeah, yeah,
relentless constructive yes.
yeah.
Yeah, in such a kind way, because when I was thinking about it this morning, like knowing that we'd have this chat, one thing that really came to my mind was that it's a way of being with yourself that's kind and constructive. And it's, um, to me, the Alexander technique transforms my life into learning moments. Like, it's everything as an opportunity to learn and discover more, instead of an opportunity to prove that I'm not good enough. It's, yeah, there's all
Mm,
these yes plans that I can choose from, and what do I want? What's my desire?
yeah, it increases choicefulness. Ah, so good. But
Mm.
yeah, no, I just wanted to like, that just brought back so many memories for me.
There's so many
Cello
memories.
memories, so many memories, so many memories.
Yeah.
Cello memory. I mean,
Yeah, I
I could
think.
share one if I can
Oh
share
yeah,
bits.
I'd love to hear yours, but one that's got. Can I go first?
You go
One
first.
that I remember is this amazing moment when Kathy asked me, how old were you when you first started playing the cello? And I was like, 8. She's like, uh-huh, I could see. Right. Well, have a look at the cello now, and knowing that your size and cello's this size. And it was just, we took a moment. I can't remember exactly how we did it, but just coming to the truth of my size now and the cello
Mm,
size. And
mm,
she said, see what happens if you trust the cello. Um, and it was amazing. Like, it just worked. It worked. I had felt like I didn't have to do anything. all of the, I think my question was around tuning, like getting the note in tune, and it was just a miscalculation because of this old, what she calls biopsychosocial history of learning the
Mm,
cello when it was really big, and now
mm,
needing to update that to the size it is
yeah,
now. That was a
yeah,
really fun moment because it was so instant. Mm.
yeah. It reminds me of like uh, the schema, like when I played flute as well, like that, like, oh, my fingers were moving like this when I learnt the flute,
Yeah.
and it was kind of painful and hard to hold it, and I would get really tired. And that's
Mm.
something that like little flute players now that I teach, I know. Um, yeah. Oh,
Mm.
that's
Yeah.
profound.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
used that a lot on my students when I can see them growing from week to week. Like, oh, you've grown again. Have another look now and see. Is it easier? Yeah. Oh, okay, that's good. Just as we go, just updating the size.
Yeah. The
What was your
map.
memory of my cello?
The map recalibrates. Yeah, my memory is when you came over to Sydney, was it last year or maybe 2 years ago now?
Yep.
And you had just gotten your block strap.
Oh, yes.
And we were so excited, like there was so much excitement around that, but also kind of trepidation as well.
Yeah. It's so
um,
different to normal playing. Mm,
yeah, because you mentioned before, like it gave you wings, and then this kind of we allow you to do that again because you're
definitely.
used to playing cello on a chair, I
Yeah.
guess. And so, yeah, I remember playing with that with you and getting to witness you recalibrate your map again and kind of get used to a different center of gravity
Mm,
and be able to walk,
yes, that was so fun. Such a
all
good.
of that. Yeah.
Mm. And then to dance with you back to back
Yeah, and then
and
we
play.
just had so much to play with, and I'm just so,
Mm,
yeah, really grateful that we both were so like tooled up, I guess, to experience that and to just be able to play with so many things immediately with
mm.
that.
That was a special memory for me because that was the first time I got a lesson from you, really, without being in the context of the school or having Greg or Kathy around. And that just felt so fun. It was so fun. Just, we both had this shared language, so we could
Thank you. No, that's kind of what I wanted to chat about. I
awesome.
guess those big learning moments. Anything kind of from the current present that you're playing with at the moment?
Well, recently, for the last 3 months, I've had a hand injury, and I've been strapping it. I haven't got strapping tape on at the moment, but um, yeah, that was really confronting to have such a big injury to my hand that I really need as a cellist.
Mm,
And it wasn't really until having a lesson with Kathy that I realized just how slow I needed to take it with myself. Like I was so
mm,
wanting to just get on with it and have it healed that I was pushing it and rushing the healing process.
mm,
So to really just come to like what is actually possible today and like take it day by day and really have that kindness around it and get really clear on what is this situation that I'm in, what can I do
mm,
about it, and what's out of my control, has really helped me. I think because it's been 3 months now, and I think what's happened is I haven't been playing cello that much, but it's given me the space. It's like guilt-free not practicing. Like so I've just been spending all of that energy on other areas of my life, and it's been really great to just come back to that kindness piece, and realizing that how amazing our hands are and how amazing our bodies are, and how like when one little bone, one tiny bone is out of place, it just causes so much chain reaction in the body. And yeah, I'm fascinated. I've been learning more about the arms as well, the hands, from the hand specialist. I've been using her appointments to just ask her some anatomy questions, and that's been really helpful.
I'm so glad it's recovering. So glad.
Thanks. Yeah, slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, good to know.
Yeah, and just that it takes the time it takes. I think, to use like classical Alexander language, there's this term end gaining, which is where we want something, but we just want the end. We don't want to get there, instead of thinking, okay, well, what do I need to do to go in that direction? And it may or may not get me that end, but yeah, it's just so much kinder to do that, to like come and be with yourself as you step through that process of learning or healing or improving at a skill.
Yeah.
Gives you, and there's this sense of more time. Like I feel like I have more time because I'm not pushing and rushing anymore, which is really nice. So yeah, do you want to see that plant on my bookcase?
I would love it. It's gorgeous. The shape of the leaves are lovely.
Yeah, it's so happy. Look at it. Yeah, so amazing. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thanks for making the time to chat in between your teaching today. Currently, you're speaking from your studio in Tasmania. Do you want to share what are your current sort of teaching offerings and where people can find you?
Thanks. So you can find me on Instagram, or like I'm Georgia Lilyshine on Instagram, or my website georgialilyshine.com. I'm also offering these things called open play labs, and that is for musicians to play, not just play, but play. With
play.
Yeah, play. So to play with each other and to play with themselves, to discover how Alexander technique and also just other movement games and exercises can help enliven the music process. So I take everyone through a really sequential warm-up, and then go into some games, and then we'll do some improvising with our instruments. And if it's a long day, then we'll learn a piece together. So that feels really like where I'm at the moment. That's like the culmination of what I want to do those days. And
that sounds so fun. I would love to come to one.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're done.
Oh.